My biological parents wouldn't allow me to call them mom and dad. They insisted I address them as uncle and auntie. Later, I got admitted to Tsinghua University. Everywhere they went, they boasted, "This is my daughter." With a smile, I retorted, "Uncle and auntie, one shouldn't claim children as their own so casually." Before the start of my senior year in high school, my mother took me back to the Duncan's house, through the closed door. I could clearly hear Leo and Fanny's voices in the living room. We had agreed that once given to you, she would have no ties with our Duncan family. What do you mean by bringing her back now? We're already struggling to manage Devon. How are we supposed to take care of her too? My mother's voice choked up. She's a good girl, after all, your own flesh and blood. I have no choice but to bring her back to you. If only I hadn't fallen ill. I couldn't hear the rest, after a long while. My mother knocked on the door. "Penny, Mom is leaving now." I clenched my hands tightly and remained silent. "Penny," after calling several times and getting no response from me, my mother sighed deeply, and her footsteps faded away as the front door closed. I sprang up like a carp leaping out of water and dashed to the door, just in time to see her entering the elevator. I grabbed the frayed sleeve of her shirt. "Mom, I'll stop studying and work to pay for your treatment." Slap. Before I could finish, she slapped my face. Her whole body was shaking, her eyes red with anger. "If you dare talk about quitting school again, I'll beat you to death. Do you want to spend your whole life earning hard money like your father and I?" "Mom," she pressed the button for the first floor, pushed me out of the elevator, and said fiercely, "Go. If you can't get into a good university, don't come to see me, and don't call me Mom." As the elevator doors closed, I saw her raise her arm and fiercely wipe her eyes, dragging my heavy steps. I returned to find the front door closed and my suitcase lying forlornly at the door. I knocked continuously for half a minute before the door finally opened. Fanny rolled her eyes. "What's all the noise about?" "Devon is still studying in the study room. I thought you had gone back with her since you kept calling her Mom." I dragged my suitcase in, and she opened the door to a storeroom. "From now on, you'll sleep in here. Clean it up yourself." As I cleaned the room, Leo came by. He looked decent and gentle, raising a tiny hope in my heart. But he said, "From now on, call us uncle and auntie. You are just the daughter of my distant cousin, understand?" I shook the dusty cover in my hand vigorously, making him cough from the dust. I coldly replied, "Understood." After cleaning, I was sweating all over. After taking a shower, just as I was about to put my clothes in the washing machine, Fanny stopped me. "They're filthy. From now on, wash your clothes by hand, and don't take such long showers. It's a waste of water." My shower lasted less than 10 minutes, whereas Devon had taken half an hour before that. That night, at 3 in the morning, the moonlight fell on my tiny cot. I tossed and turned, continuously telling myself, "Penny, expect less, and you won't be so sad. They don't love you, so you have to love yourself." I started school a year late, now in the same grade as Devon. Devon was in the advanced class, while I was placed in a regular class. I felt out of place in my class. They all talked about where they went for summer vacation, what movies they watched, and which tutoring classes they attended. My summer vacation was spent doing household chores, farming, and accompanying my mom to the hospital multiple times. When our class teacher, Bob, introduced me to my classmates, he made a point to emphasize that I had good academic performance in the past and encouraged everyone to get along well with me. This was met with a wave of indifferent looks. A boy in the back row with blue-gray hair even scoffed, "Teacher, this top chicken might not even qualify as the tail of the phoenix here. Zoe's high school might not be a key city school, but it's still among the top-ranked." The high school I attended was in a small county town. Bob glared at him and retorted, "Are you proud to be at the tail end?" The boy with the blue-gray hair laughed and waved at me. "Come on, join me at the tail end." Bob glanced over with a hesitant expression. I arrived late, and everyone had already chosen their desk mates. The only spot left was next to him. "You can sit here for now, and we can switch places after a few days once we have the baseline test results." Gerben, no bullying the new student. As soon as the teacher left, Gerben kicked my desk and said, "Where did you get that tan? It looks pretty natural. I've always wanted to tan more, but it never works out." His skin was very pale, flawless. He clearly looked like a child who had grown up pampered. I responded evenly, "It's from working in the rice fields. If you like, I can take you to experience it next summer for $100 a day." $100 a day, that's cheap. he replied nonchalantly while twirling his pen. After a few seconds, he realized, wait. I'd be helping you harvest rice and still have to pay you. Are you trying to scam me, idiot with too much money? Who else should I scam? Gerben narrowed his eyes, a dangerous glint appearing. New kid, you've got guts to mess with me, do you know? Before he could finish, I took a glass bottle out of my backpack, opened it, and offered it to him. Want a drink? He grimaced. What is this? It smells weird. It's medicinal tea brewed with cobra. I caught myself. It's good for your health. Gerben's look at me changed. You caught a cobra? I got excited. Yeah, do you know what a cobra looks like? Long, cold, slimy, and it stands up before it strikes. I poked Gerben's arm with my finger, causing him to shudder. He pushed my hand away. Back off. Do you think you can just touch me? I pursed my lips to suppress a laugh. It was just ordinary herbal tea. City kids. They might not fear wolves or tigers, but insects and snakes terrify them. During lunch break, I went to eat. When I returned, I overheard the class leader Yuri and a few girls discussing me. That new student looks so rustic and tanned. She's from the countryside. That's how they are. Do you think her grades are really that good? Can education from a small town compare to our school? Didn't we have a top student from a county school who now can't even make it into the top 100? Just a country girl, and she's already pulling at Gerben today. I wore a new pink short-sleeved shirt that my mom had specially bought for me. Black skin in pink is indeed a risky choice, but it was picked by my mom, who thinks girls should wear soft, tender colors. I took a deep breath. Don't mind them, just be yourself. The baseline test is tomorrow. Fenny made several elaborate dishes last night. I love shrimp and took 3 in a row, but then Fenny moved the shrimp in front of Devin, leaving only a dish of water spinach in front of me. Devin, eat more of this. It's, do well on the exam tomorrow. As she spoke, she glanced at me. I heard your grades used to be okay, but this place is not like the county town. Devin has very good grades. If you don't understand something, Devin interrupted her. Don't ask me. I don't have time. Fenny gave a forced smile. That's what I meant. How could I let her disturb you? After you finish eating, hurry up and study, Penny. You can wash the dishes later. I quickly finished my meal and went into the storeroom. Fenny cursed at me while banging on the door. I just wouldn't go out. I have a test tomorrow too. With your brains, it doesn't matter whether you revise or not. You'll be at the bottom anyway. Devin, annoyed, exclaimed. It's so noisy. Can't you let people study? She finally calmed down. I was originally quite confident in myself, but when I actually got the exam paper, I started to feel nervous. The types of questions were more flexible and varied here, and the focus was also somewhat different from my previous exams. There were also some questions that were clearly beyond the syllabus. Devin, on the other hand, was quite confident, because Fenny had hired a private tutor for him during the summer break, and he had already studied a lot in advance. By the rules, the results would be out on Monday. Early in the morning, Leo took Devin to school and was supposed to give me a ride too. But Devin locked the car door. It's too lame. I don't want my classmates to think I have anything to do with her. In the end, I went by bus. When I got to the classroom door, I ran into Yuri. Her smile contained a hint of mockery. The results are coming out soon. Penny, you must have done very well, right? It was okay. I had observed for a couple of days. Her hostility towards me was probably because she liked Gerben. She raised her eyebrows slightly and smirked contemptuously. Then I'll wait and see. As soon as the morning self-study started, Bob came in with the grade sheets and ranking list. There were whispers in the classroom. Bob slammed the papers down on the table, angrily saying, "You all think you did very well, don't you? This exam, only 5 students in our class scored above 550. The average score is the lowest among the 7 parallel classes." The classroom suddenly fell silent. Everyone bowed their heads, avoiding his gaze. Even the usually drowsy Gerben straightened up a bit. Bob scanned the room sternly, his gaze softening when it landed on Yuri. Yuri did very well this time, scoring 590. Yuri curled her lips, provocatively glancing at me. I understood her look. Little trash. This is what you call doing well. But Bob's next words froze her smile. The top scorer in our class is Penny, with 605 points. Having achieved such a score just after transferring here is very commendable. I hope you can maintain this. Everyone turned to look at me, and the classroom buzzed with discussion. No way, she scored first. the teaching quality in small towns must be pretty good, huh? Gerben raised his eyebrows in surprise. Penny, you really hide your capabilities well. I wasn't satisfied with the score, so there was no joy on my face. After the morning self-study session, some students went to ask Yuri about the questions. She sarcastically said, "Don't ask me next time, ask our class's top scorer. She's much more capable than me." Didn't you hear Bob praising her? A few girls gathered around, consoling her that she would surely be first next time. Their voices weren't quiet, and Gerben suddenly kicked the desk. "It's so noisy, it's affecting my sleep." The classroom quieted down instantly. He glared fiercely at me, then leaned back and closed his eyes to sleep. He wasn't trying to defend me just now, was he? When I got home from school that day, Fanny had prepared a table full of dishes. She piled 3 abalones and 2 chicken legs from the chicken and abalone stew into Devon's bowl, then cautiously asked, "The results are out, right? How did you do?" "Not bad. 603 points. Fanny's face lit up with joy. "Over 600, that's great. The private lessons over the summer paid off. As long as I keep it steady, getting into a first-level university should be no problem." I picked up a chicken wing, and she started to complain. "Devon scored 603, and what about you? All you do is eat. A girl like you eating so much will get fat, with those grades of yours." I interrupted her while chewing on the wing. "I scored 605, 605, what's there to brag about?" She stopped mid-sentence, her expression filled with disbelief. "Wait, what did you score?" I spit out the bones, making my words clear. 605, 2 points more than him. All 3 of them were stunned, with that level of shock. They might just lose their jaws in the future, actually. Devon could have seen my score on the ranking list, but he never considered me a threat, so he never paid any attention to me. I took advantage of their surprise to quickly eat a few more bites of meat, then, content, I put down my chopsticks and smiled mockingly at a flustered Devon. "Don't come to me with questions you can't understand. I won't have the time." Devon's face turned red with anger. Fanny slammed the table hard. "What kind of attitude is that? He's your younger brother. Aren't you supposed to help him?" Leo also frowned. "You're the older sister, you should be accommodating and humble." If Devon were 10 or 8 years younger, I might accommodate him, but he's only a year younger than me. I stood up, facing Devon. "Then feel free to ask. I'm happy to explain." Devon gritted his teeth. "No need, I knew it would end like this." While Fanny was still in shock, I slipped back to the storeroom to avoid her nagging me to do the dishes. Later that night, after my shower, Devon was waiting at the bathroom door. His gaze was dark. "Don't think you're really all that great." It was all basic questions this time, and I messed up the answer sheet. "Even if you go out of your way to please our parents, the inheritance is mine. The best colleges are mine. You country girl shouldn't even dream of it." It's ironic. I was the one abandoned since childhood, the one who never received love. Why does he feel so justified in expressing his disdain for me? Holding back the bitterness, I leaned in and whispered softly, "Are you afraid I'll take everything you have?" He stiffened, my smile widened. "What to do? I'm really interested now. Let's start by beating you by 30 points in the next exam." Clearly, the challenge affected Devon. During our senior year, we only got 1 day off on the weekends, and he had Fanny hire 3 tutors for him, to intensively cover his weaknesses in Chinese, English, and chemistry. Fanny didn't mind the expense. Instead, she kept praising his ambition. Once, while a teacher was discussing a problem, the study door opened, and I happened to go get some water. Devon immediately stood up and closed the door. Probably afraid that I might eavesdrop, learn some secret technique, and totally outdo him. After a baseline test, I became somewhat famous in class, and classmates started coming to me with questions. This was a bit awkward, because the curriculum at County No. 1 High was different from here. While they had already finished the high school syllabus, I still had a few topics left uncovered at No. 1 High, so my performance was unstable. The more I struggled to solve the problems, the more everyone thought I was just lucky with the previous test. I didn't bother explaining. My time is precious now. I need to catch up fast. It's better if they don't come to me with questions. Aside from occasionally chatting with my mom on WeChat, I've been pouring all my energy into studying, wishing I could split every minute in half to make the most of my time. Soon, the midterms were upon us. A few days before the exams, Bob announced something based on school tradition. From now on, in every major exam, the top student from the regular class could replace the last-ranking student in the honors class. My eyes lit up. This was my chance. The honors class had access to more educational resources and a better learning environment. Of course, my motivation wasn't solely academic. I also wanted to add some stress to Fenny's family. Gerben grabbed my shoulder and said, "The honors class is full of nerds. It's boring, Penny, you should stay here, I've got your back." I shrugged off his hand. "Move, you're distracting me from studying," he grimaced, seemingly on the verge of anger, but then he stared at my face for a long while and said, "You seem to have gotten a lot paler. Not working under the sun in the fields had naturally made my skin lighter." His face moved closer, his warm breath tickling my nose. "Upon closer inspection, you're not that bad looking." I ignored him and turned away, only to see Yuri glaring at me darkly. After class, she cornered me in the hallway outside the restroom. "The spot in the honors class will definitely not be yours." I smiled. "You like Gerben, right? If I leave class 8, wouldn't that suit your wishes?" Yuri snorted coldly. "That's a different matter. He's just having fun teasing you. Don't think he actually likes you." I replied indifferently. "I don't need anyone's affection. I just need to keep moving forward and get into a good university." That was my mother's wish and my only chance to soar. After saying this, I headed to the classroom and turned the corner, only to find Gerben leaning against the wall, sucking on a lollipop. He looked at me with a heavy gaze and a cool smirk. "Penny, I didn't see it before, but you're really an ungrateful wolf in sheep's clothing." I clenched my teeth and didn't respond. From then on, Gerben stopped talking to me. He would make various noises on a whim, and despite my reminders, he did not restrain himself. It didn't matter. We wouldn't be desk mates for much longer. The night before the exam, after taking a shower, I went to grab my phone to video call my mom, only to find it submerged in the kitchen sink. Devin shrugged maliciously. "Sorry, my hand slipped." I hurriedly retrieved my phone, but it wouldn't turn on. This phone was not only my way of staying in touch with my mom, but it also held many photos of our family. It was a gift from my dad when I got into the best county school. A few months later, he passed away suddenly. It was the last gift he ever gave me. Now, he could never give me anything again. The flowers of spring, the leaves of summer, the fruits of autumn, the snow of winter. I could no longer share any of these with him. Furious and trembling, I yelled, "Devin, you did that on purpose." Fenny and Leo came out. Fenny was dismissive. "So it's soaked. It's just a lousy phone. High school students shouldn't be using phones anyway." Arguing wouldn't solve anything. I put on my shoes and rushed out the door. I had to get it fixed. I just had to. After visiting 3 repair shops, the responses were disheartening. "Your phone is too old. It's obsolete. We can't find the parts. You can't export this data. Why didn't you save it to the cloud?" It started raining. The drizzling autumn rain soaked me through, sending chills to the very core of my heart through every pore. With my phone in hand, I searched through alley after alley. No luck. I couldn't find the repair shop. In this city, where everyone seemed to have money, a broken phone probably meant buying a new one rather than fixing the old. The dim, yellow light from the street lamps stretched my shadow long. I hugged my knees, curled up into a ball, and cried silently. "Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't make it in time to see you one last time. I couldn't stay by Mom's side to take care of her, and now, I've even broken the phone you gave me." The streets were quiet late at night, only the arrogant roar of motorcycles thundering like rolling thunder, drowning out my soft sobs. The thunderous noise lingered in my ears when an impatient voice broke through. "Penny." I stayed curled up, motionless. A strong hand grabbed me by the head, lifting it, and through my tear-blurred eyes, I met Gerben's narrow gaze. Rainwater dripped from his bluish-gray hair tips onto my nose. Gerben, irritated, ruffled his hair and yelled at me, "Penny, are you sick? Crying here at 11 at night? Do you realize there's a construction site right across, housing hundreds of people?" Tears rolled down my cheeks. "My phone, it's broken. It can't be fixed." It was a gift from my dad." He frowned deeply, snatching the phone from me. "This piece of junk." "It's not junk, all right, it's a precious treasure," he said sarcastically, hauling me up from the ground. "Little ancestor, I'll take you home now and fix this phone for you." I clutched his hand tightly. Really, Gerben, never break my word. He escorted me to the entrance of my building. I waved at him from the balcony as the sound of his motorcycle faded into the distance. I was soaked and had to take another shower, but halfway through, the water turned cold. Hastily getting dressed, I discovered the kitchen water heater was turned off. Devin, looking relaxed, came out of his room for a drink. I wrapped myself in a blanket, standing in the shadow, smiling at him. Devin, you keep challenging me, must be because you're scared. Scared that even if you try your hardest, you'll still lose to me. Don't worry, even if you exhaust all tricks, I'll still beat you. Just watch. Despite my bold words, I woke up the next day feeling dizzy and heavy-headed. I had a fever, but I still insisted on going to the exam. Yuri and I were in the same classroom. She saw my pale face, covered her mouth and laughed. How careless to catch a cold at such a time. It's like you're handing the spot over to someone else. I ignored her mocking and kept drinking hot water while answering the exam questions. I dared not take any medicine, as it would fog up my mind, after gritting my teeth through the last exam. I stepped out of the classroom and saw Gerben leaning against a corridor pillar, fiddling with my phone. Seeing me, he arrogantly jutted his chin. Told you, there's no phone your brother Gerben can't fix. I was overjoyed, feeling all my blood rush to my head. I ran over to grab the phone, but before I could touch it, everything went black, and I fainted. When I woke up again, I was in the school infirmary, opening my eyes. I met Gerben's face, as dark as the bottom of a pot. He mocked me relentlessly. Penny, you really are something, fainting into my arms in front of everyone, clinging to me without even taking medicine for your high fever. He really went all out this time. I reached out, pulled on his sleeve, my voice hoarse. Gerben, I'm so hungry. I want to eat ribs, braised pork, and sweet and sour fish. Can you buy some for me? I hadn't had an appetite due to a fever before, but now I felt much better. I could eat a whole cow. Gerben stood up and kicked the bed frame hard. I owe you nothing. You still want meat. Just have some porridge. After getting an injection and taking medicine on schedule, I felt much better by Monday. 2 days later, it was also the time for the midterm exam results to be released. This morning, Devin and I left the house one after the other. He deliberately waited at the intersection. The morning sun cast shadows on his sinister smile. You were so sick. I don't believe you did well. A salted fish in the gutter shouldn't dream of turning over. Once in the classroom, Yuri unleashed a barrage of comments at me. This time, it seems you have no chance of getting into the top class. Don't worry, the more you're disappointed, the more you'll get used to it. Just stay in class 8. That's where you belong. It seemed like everyone knew I had taken the exam while having a cold. Everyone's eyes seemed to say, she doesn't stand a chance this time. The autumn morning light was brilliant. I squinted into the rising sun. Oh God, I've never slacked off. This time, will things go my way? Can I trample all the malice underfoot and turn them into stepping stones? During the anxious wait, just before the morning self-study ended, Bob finally appeared with the test papers and the ranking list. Everyone tensed up. Unusually, Gerben didn't fall asleep. I looked at him puzzled, and he whispered, I'm a bit nervous now. Are you afraid someone might take your last place? He replied darkly, heartless, I'm nervous for you. You've put in so much effort. I'm afraid it won't go your way, and also afraid it might. What a tongue twister. At that moment, I calmed down. I did my best. If it doesn't work out this time, there will be a next time. I have many more opportunities. Before Gerben could reply, Bob looked over. Gerben, what are you talking about? Gerben lazily answered. I'm afraid someone might take my last place. Bob was almost furious. That honor, no one's competing with you for it. Gerben smirked. Bob took a deep breath and put on a smile. This time, our class had average scores, but a few students did quite well. Yuri looked at Bob full of hope, receiving her gaze. Bob sighed. Yuri, you've fallen behind quite a bit, down to 10th in the class. You need to focus more on your studies. Yuri was stunned. She whispered, but I thought I did well. Bob smiled and turned to me. I need to particularly commend Penny. Despite having a cold, she persisted in taking the exam and achieved good results. Gerben was more anxious than I. What score did she get? I nervously squeezed his hand. Gerben scoffed. Just now you were all calm. Turns out it was all an act. Despite his words, he leaned his arm towards me. Bob spoke slowly and clearly. This time she ranked 38th in the grade, and she's the top in our several parallel classes. The huge weight lifted from my heart. Only then did I notice that Gerben's arm was red. He looked at me and smiled. Congratulations, you got what you wished for. Bob then gave a motivational speech to everyone about how persistence leads to victory, and effort brings rewards. Everyone's gaze towards me changed. I was familiar with this look. It was how they used to look at me back in the county's top school, only Yuri. Her gaze so resentful, I wondered if she wanted to devour me. After morning self-study, Bob called me to his office. You've got potential, he said. The school thinks it's best if you move to Class A as soon as possible. I raised an eyebrow. Class A? That's Devon's class. I was somewhat eager. Thank you, Mr. Bob. From now on, Bob patted my shoulder. I'll also be teaching physics in Class A, so our teacher-student bond will continue. Get your things ready. I've already informed them. Penny, I believe this is just your starting point. Keep it up. When it comes to motivational talks, Bob really knows his stuff. Back in the classroom, Gerben was surprisingly absent. I packed my belongings and left a note on his desk. Thank you, I'm moving to Class A. See you around. Carrying my books, I bumped into Yuri outside the classroom. She glared at me fiercely. Don't think you've won just because you're going to Class A. Next time, I will definitely outscore you. I smiled. Alright, just don't let me wait until after the college entrance exams. Yuri, red with anger, watched as I walked past her and ascended the stairs, the prestigious 5th floor, where Class A was located. Class A's homeroom teacher, Mr. Sam, was on the phone and signaled for me to wait at the classroom door. Just as I reached the door, I bumped into Devon coming out. He already looked upset, and his jaw tensed even more when he saw me. What are you doing here? Haven't I told you that we should act like we don't know each other at school? I looked at him and smiled. I think that's my line. What do you mean by that? Before I could explain, Mr. Sam approached, frowning. He scolded, Devon, class is about to start. Where do you think you're going? Devon, like a mouse who'd seen a cat, didn't reply. Mr. Sam turned to me, his tone much softer. Penny, come with me. The academic atmosphere in Class A was much more intense than in Class F. Mr. Sam had to tap the desk a few times to get the students to look up from their studies. Let me introduce you to everyone. Penny, the top student from the parallel class, is now one of us. Devon stared in disbelief. That's impossible. Mr. Sam's expression darkened. Penny ranked 38th in the grade. Even with a cold, she still outperformed you by 40 points. Devon, despite you having access to the best educational resources, you have no ground to question her. Devon was visibly tense, seething with anger. But he didn't dare backtalk Mr. Sam. Mr. Sam glanced around the room. Here's what we'll do, Devon. Move to the back and give your seat to Penny. Devon's eyes widened. Mr. Sam sternly replied. If you have a problem with that, outscore her next time. Senior year is harsh. It's all about performance. After a few seconds of tension, he began to move the desk. I approached with my books and smiled at him. Hurry up, class is about to start. Veins throbbed on Devon's neck. I whispered, lowering my voice. See, I even beat you at this. Devon trembled with rage, his eyes reddening. In Class A, everyone was busy studying, hardly paying me any extra attention. After all, being 38th in the grade was nothing spectacular here. I also came to know from the class ranking list that this time Devon was ranked 45th in the class. He was just a few steps away from being moved out. No wonder Mr. Sam was not pleased with him. At dinner, Fanny cautiously asked about Devon's test scores. He bluntly retorted, question after question. You guys are so annoying. I cleared my throat. I know. Devon glared at me fiercely. Shut up. It's not your place to talk about my business. Fanny and Leo quickly added, exactly. If Devon doesn't want to talk, it's not your place to butt in. After all, he did better than you on the exams. I raised an eyebrow, giving Devon a sly glance. His face turned red, and he slammed down his chopsticks, refusing to eat any more. You can run away from the monastery, but not from the temple, he forgot to mention. So I gently reminded, Uncle, Auntie, tomorrow night our school is organizing a parent-teacher meeting. Please don't forget. Fanny gave me a disdainful look. We're not going to attend yours. Failing like that is an embarrassment to me. How was she so sure I failed? TSK. Whether they attend or not, they'll find out eventually. The parent-teacher meeting was scheduled during the evening self-study period, so it wouldn't take up class time and ensured parents could attend. Fanny and Leo were really concerned about their son. Even though the school said one parent attending was enough, both of them came. However, Their expressions changed instantly when they saw Devin sitting in the last row. Then seeing me in their son's seat, they were baffled. When Sam announced the class rankings, hearing that I was 38th in the grade and 15th in the class, they were shocked as if struck by lightning, and when they finally heard Devin's ranking and scores, their heads hung in shame. Sam made a special point to praise me. He mentioned that despite my parents not being around and having a cold, I still managed to perform well. Fanny and Leo's faces flushed and paled. Their precious son had ranked near the bottom. Meanwhile, their seemingly unremarkable niece received high praise. Just thinking about how they must feel gave me goosebumps. After the meeting, the couple stayed behind, wanting to give Sam some gift cards, but they were refused. Instead of spending money on me, better spend it on Devin. If he continues like this, next time he might be the one getting booted out. Fanny and Leo were meekly reprimanded, not daring to say a word. After the evening self-study, their family drove away. As they left the gate, the car stopped. Leo said, "Get in the car." Devin fiercely said, "If she gets in, I'm getting out." Leo quickly placated, all right, don't get upset. Let her walk back on her own." The car sped off, leaving me in a cloud of exhaust. The night in November was indeed chilly. Walking a few steps forward, I heard a woman's helpless and pained scolding from an alley. "Can't you be a bit more responsible? You're in your senior year. I know you're smart. Why do you have to act this way?" Do you know how embarrassed I was today when Mr. Bob read the scores? I had nowhere to hide my face. The blue-haired boy hung his head, a lollipop dangling from his mouth. Indifferent. "If it embarrasses you, just don't come. You never used to come anyway." In the deep autumn, the woman's slender silhouette stretched longer, appearing even more solitary. "Gerben, what do you want me to do?" Gerben lifted his head, his eyes glistening under the dim street lamp, just like before. "Don't bother about me. Pretend I don't exist." After he finished speaking, he seemed to sense something and looked in my direction. I shrank my neck and hurried forward, but soon, someone grabbed the collar of my jacket from behind. "Where are your parents?" "They didn't come." He spoke irritably. "Think you've lived too long. I'll take you home." He dragged my backpack a short distance forward when a Mercedes G-Class slid up to us. The window rolled down, revealing the delicate face of a woman. "I'll give you a ride," Gerben, expressionless, replied. "No need." I rubbed my arms. "I'm a bit cold." Gerben glared at me fiercely. My feet hurt a bit too. Gerben ruffled his hair in frustration. "You're really something." Eventually, he opened the car door, pushed me from behind, and forcefully shoved me inside. Warmth instantly enveloped me, and the passing streetlights cast varying shadows on his face. "Did you see the note I left you?" He was out of topics to bring up. And I couldn't find anything to say either. Luckily, his mother spoke gently about school and grades, carefully avoiding any mention of my parents. As we were nearing my house, Gerben's mother said, "Penny, I've been thinking of hiring some tutors for him, but he refuses. Could you help persuade him?" Gerben kicked the seat in front. "Why drag her into this? We're not as close as you think." His mother sighed and fell silent. Back at home, Leo and Fanny were waiting for me. The first thing they said was, "Talk to Teacher Sam. Switch seats with Devin. He's got bad eyesight." I slammed my room door shut, which led to a slew of curses from them. Fanny warned me not to get cocky, saying I'd be back in the regular class next time. Am I really their own child? Why do they have to pour all their malice on me? I took a deep breath, constantly reminding myself, don't mind it, don't get upset. Turn these hardships into nutrients and bloom even brighter. I'd never slept before midnight, spending every lunch break buried in books. I constantly refreshed, compensating for my weaknesses. I blocked out the doubts and malice from others. Devin was doing the same, even staying up later than me, always with dark circles under his eyes. We were both holding our breath, waiting. Soon, the monthly exams came. The day before the exam, I went to sleep at 11. But Devin's light was still on, after 2 days of giving my all in the exams. I finally took a long sleep, not touching the books for a whole day. I just nestled in the storeroom, watching the clouds in the autumn sky. This time of year, the rice should have been harvested. "Mom, just wait a little longer. Wait until I get into college, then I can help you." On Monday, the results were out. Sam entered the classroom early in the morning, beaming with joy. This time our class did well. 5 out of the top 10 in the grade are from our class, including the first place. He paused, heightening everyone's anticipation. Everyone's gaze fell on the usual top scorers, but to their surprise, Sam smiled and called my name. Penny is the first in the grade this time, 10 points ahead of the second. That's quite significant. The closer the ranking, the tighter the competition. A single point could make a big difference in ranks. 10 points was indeed a considerable gap. Everyone stared at me in utter astonishment. Last time, I was ranked 38th in the grade. The last time I checked, I couldn't even break into the top 100 in my grade. I was actually quite excited and turned my head subconsciously. After seeing the acne on my deskmate's face, I couldn't help but smirk. It wasn't Gerben, such joy. And yet I had no one to share it with. Over the past month, Devin could be said to have done nothing but eat and study, but unfortunately, luck wasn't on his side, and he performed poorly on the test. 545 points, over 100 points less than me, placing him at the bottom of the top class. Sam didn't hold back. Right after the morning study session, he tapped on Devin's desk. Rules are rules. You're going to class F. I looked back at him and raised an eyebrow. His fists were clenched tightly. As soon as Sam left, he kicked the desk violently, flipping it over and scattering books everywhere. Penny, don't push people too far. Everyone turned to look. Before I could speak, a mocking voice rang out from the doorway. Did she bully you with her fists or with her words? I turned around and saw Gerben. He was leaning lazily against the door with his arms crossed, but his words were infuriating. Oh, I get it. Her smart brain makes you look especially stupid, right? Devin was so angry his face turned red. At least I scored better than you. Gerben smiled at me. Penny is smarter and more diligent than me. I admit that, but you don't. Devin was shaking all over. Getting him to admit he was inferior to me was probably harder than killing him. Seeing him like this, I felt calm instead. Don't worry, time will prove everything. This is my starting point. From here on, I will only climb higher. This is your starting point too. From here on, you'll only go downhill. Devin left. His figure was lonely and angry. No one in the class offered him a word of comfort, which showed his lack of popularity. Gerben was still there. He was leaning on the corridor railing, the wind blowing through his deep blue hair, revealing his handsome, delicate profile. Do you need something from me? He tossed me a box of milk. Here to congratulate you for coming in first place. Is that it? He looked at me askance. His eyes and brows softened by the autumn wind. I thought you might be brimming with happiness, but had no one to share it with. My heart feels like something has been stuffed into it, an indescribable sensation. I am an outsider, and even though I have climbed my way up in this school, I remain lonely every morning and deep into the night. I turned to look at him directly. Gerben, why not study hard and come with me to Beijing later? Me? Yes, you. The wind lifted his hair gently before it fell back into place. His long eyelashes covered those enticing eyes as he softly replied, I can't go. I moved closer and said, take out all the money you have on you. He paused, startled, but obediently did as told. He had over $500. I touched the money, pulling out 5 coins. This is all I have now. You say they don't love you, but you've never lacked anything. Look at me. Life is our own, and youth won't come again. If you gamble with your future, even if you win temporarily, what then? I looked into his eyes. Gerben, let's go to Beijing together. Beijing is so vast, and as a country bumpkin who's never seen much, I'm sure to be laughed at. If I'm with you, I won't be afraid. Gerben stared at me for a few seconds, then suddenly ruffled my hair and smiled brightly. Okay, I'll think about it. The bell rang for class, and as I entered the classroom, I turned back to see Gerben descending the stairs with a leisurely stride. His silhouette seemed more radiant and confident than ever before. That evening when I got home, even though Fenny and Leo might not have wanted to hear it, I couldn't wait to announce that I was first in my grade. Of course, I also mentioned that Devin had been demoted to a regular class. The house erupted into chaos, and Fenny even skipped my dinner. I wasn't hungry, watching their family's commotion. I felt completely satisfied. The next day, refreshed, I went to class and to my surprise, saw Gerben sitting in the last row of Class A. I thought I was in the wrong room. He mouthed to me, financial power. As soon as the class ended, he came up to me with a problem to solve. This one, explain it to me. Sheesh, look at that entitlement. He pulled out a Ferrero Rocher from his pocket. Hurry up, I'm on a tight schedule. He was really serious about studying, every break. He wasn't asking me questions, he was asking the teachers. Even the teachers were taken aback. Bob even secretly asked me what's gotten into Gerben, but most were just waiting to see him fail. Class A was filled with the elite of the school. He had a lot to catch up on, but I kept encouraging him, believing in him. It wasn't just him. Privately, some didn't accept my being first in the grade last time. They hoped to surpass me at the end of the term. Devin's temper got worse as he struggled with problems, often losing his temper in the study, throwing cups and stools. Once, Fanny tentatively suggested, "Why not ask your sister?" He just yelled, "Get lost, she's not my sister." As winter came, the weather grew colder. Fanny said I could wash my clothes in the washing machine and started placing meat dishes in front of me. On Christmas Day, she even gave me a pink down jacket. "I bought it specially for you, try it on." The jacket was warm and matched my current skin tone. Unfortunately, this warmth came too late. The end-of-term exams were here. This time, it was a district-wide examination. 15 high schools participated in the event. The process of the mock college entrance exam was set. The night before the exam, I checked all my things thoroughly. However, the next day when I entered the exam hall, I found that someone had swapped out my pencils and pens. It was a sneaky move indeed. Luckily, I was in the same room as Gerben. He had a whole bag full of pens, as students who usually perform poorly tend to bring more supplies. During a break, I went to check on Gerben and noticed he was writing with unusual concentration. The 9:30 a.m. sunlight fell on his profile, highlighting his striking features. The classroom was filled with the rustling sounds of everyone writing their answers. Perhaps this was the sound of our youth slipping away. We had to take extra classes during the winter break of our senior year. After a 3-day holiday, we returned to school and received our end-of-term results. Among those who took the exams with us were students from 2 of the city's top high schools. Zoe High School didn't have an advantage there. Sam looked particularly serious this time, and everyone was on edge, expecting poor results. Indeed, he began by expressing his disappointment. "Penny, stand up, you've really let me down this time." My heart sank. I felt I had done reasonably well, solving most of the problems. All eyes in the classroom turned to me, some gleefully so. Envy is common when you rise too quickly, but Gerben was genuinely concerned. Sam then took a deep breath and said, "You came in second in the district, just 3 points behind the first place. Why can't you push a little harder?" "What?" Sam's expression softened into a smile. "In this district-wide exam, you placed second out of nearly 10,000 students. That's impressive. Keep up the good work." Gerben's eyes crinkled with a smile as he began to applaud. Soon, others joined in, and the applause grew louder. Sam reflected, in just half a year, Miss Lee has made such progress. You should all feel encouraged by her achievements. If she can do it, so can you. Besides her, Gerben has also made significant progress, scoring 520 points. While this score might not be noteworthy in Class A, it was a rapid improvement for Gerben. After morning self-study, he approached me. "Congratulations, Penny, and congratulations to you, Gerben." Devin, on the other hand, had a poor exam performance again, scoring 519 points, even 1 point less than Gerben. He completely lost his composure and ended up tearing my exam papers to shreds in my room. It didn't matter to me. I knew the answers, and the papers were just paper after all. He wasn't even worth my time as a rival anymore. The new year was approaching, and I really wanted to go back to my mom's place, but she refused. "This is your first new year with the Duncan family. You must spend it with them. I told you, if you don't get into a good university, don't come back to see me." Fanny bought me shoes and clothes on internet, and Leo gave me $200 as a New Year's gift. It seemed they were starting to accept me a little, but reality struck hard. That evening during the New Year's dinner, I was slightly late to the table because I was video calling my mom. Devin lost his temper and mocked me, saying, "Ranked second in the district. Huh, is the whole family waiting for you to eat? Mom and Dad, with her around, you probably won't need me as a son anymore." Saying this, he was about to storm out, but Leo and another person quickly held him back. Trying to soothe him with kind words, Fanny pulled me up and pushed me out the door. "Go take a walk. Come back when your brother has calmed down." The door slammed shut. On a day meant for family reunions, I was kicked out. I didn't even grab my phone or wear a thick coat. Fireworks blossomed in the distant sky, and every household was filled with laughter and joy. Only I, in my slippers, felt utterly out of place amidst the festivity and splendor. I wandered aimlessly, not knowing how long I had walked. A black Mercedes-Benz G-Class stopped in front of me, and a fiery red figure rushed down, grabbing my shoulders. "Penny, what are you doing wandering around like a lost soul?" Gerben's mother scolded. "Tut tut tut, wish for good luck and prosperity, especially during the new year, don't spout nonsense." They insisted on taking me to their home for the New Year celebration. Gerben's family lived in a standalone villa with a yard 3 acres large. The New Year's Eve dinner was ordered from a hotel and filled an entire table. My bowl was piled high like a small mountain. While eating, Gerben's mother stepped out to make a phone call. After dinner, holding my hand, she said, "I've liked you since the first time we met. I've already spoken to your uncle and aunt. You should stay with us for a few more days. You know them." She smiled gently. "Your aunt works at my best friend's company. Gerben's father is the general manager at Sun. Sun is a state-owned enterprise where Leo had been working for over 20 years. Back then, the rules were strict. Having an extra child meant losing your job. To have a son, they claimed I was lost and sent me to live with my parents, not contacting me for 18 years. This is a great time for you to help tutor Gerben, thanks to you. Otherwise this kid, Mom," she was about to say more, but Gerben, already impatient, interrupted. "You talk too much." Gerben's mother just smiled indulgently. "She bought me several new outfits. I always wanted a daughter. I even used to dress Gerben up as a girl when he was little." Gerben frowned. "Mom, shut up." I stayed until school resumed on the 6th day of the new year. Gerben's mother arranged for me to board at school. "This last semester is crucial. The environment isn't great at your uncle and aunt's place. It's better for you to stay at the school." I couldn't have agreed more, but previously, Fanny and Leo were unwilling to spend the money. "That money," Gerben slapped my shoulder. "You get me up to 600 points, and let her give you a big red envelope." Gerben's mother nodded. "Starting from 520 points, $2,000 for each point." Holding my hand with tears in her eyes, she said, "Don't refuse. This money is well spent. I'm truly thankful to you for enlightening him." On the 8th day, Leo and his wife secretly came to see me. They urged me to come back home. They said they had convinced Devin, after all, as siblings, they should support each other in this last semester. They wanted me to help him aim for at least a first-level university. With Devin's mental resilience, it's a hard work. I politely smiled at them. "Uncle, Auntie, I'm fine living at school. I have to go to class now. Goodbye." After the new term began, my studies entered a strange yet fantastic phase. It felt like a transformation from quantity to quality. Problems that used to be difficult, like functions and derivatives, I could now solve effortlessly. With every challenging problem overcome, my confidence grew. It seems like my studies have entered a virtuous cycle. In the second semester of my senior year, we were bombarded with endless mock exams. The first mock exam was a district-wide test. I topped the district while Gerben scored 550. The second mock was a joint exam among 30 schools. I came in second, and Gerben scored 576. After several of these tests, the doubts about me had almost vanished. People can chalk up a good score to luck once or twice, but not continuously rising. The third mock was a citywide test, notorious for its difficulty. After the exam, even the students from key high schools were devastated. The atmosphere at school was tense. After a prolonged wait, the results were released. I ranked second in the city, just 1 point behind the first place. Given that our high school, Zoe High, wasn't as prestigious in terms of teaching quality or student intake as the key high schools, my score was beyond everyone's expectations. While almost everyone's scores plummeted, Gerben defied the odds and scored over 600, landing in the top 30 of our grade. When the results were announced, Gerben's mom was so thrilled, she was practically beaming. She drove us out to celebrate with a meal. As we drove away from the school, I caught a glimpse in the rearview mirror of Devin, hunched over under the weight of his heavy backpack, looking utterly defeated. How much had he scored again? I had stopped paying attention a while ago. During this period, Gerben and I ended up sitting together. Sam even thought we might start dating. But all we did every day was solve practice problems. Solving problems that had once stumped us felt like we were soaring. See, every drop of sweat was not in vain. Every effort was rewarded by fate. The days of hard work flew by. The fourth mock was still a citywide test. the closest in difficulty to the actual college entrance exam, and it was less than a month away from the real thing. I scored 722, ranking first in the city. It was an unprecedented achievement for me. A few teachers called me aside to talk, urging me to keep my composure and not let anything disrupt my focus. After all, it had been many years since anyone from Zoe High had made it into top universities like Tsinghua or Peking. Though it was unspoken, I had always aimed for these top institutions. If I could get into one of them, the rewards from the school and society would be enough to cover the surgery my mom needed for her kidney transplant. Mom, please just wait a bit longer. Gerben did well too, scoring 635. This score would definitely secure him a place in a top first-level university. The Fenny couple visited me a few times, bringing food and clothes, but Gerben's mom had taken care of everything. I lacked for nothing. As the sweltering June arrived, so did the national college entrance exams. Gerben's mom took me to her house. This is the most crucial juncture in your life. Nothing should interfere, she said. I didn't think anything could stop me from flying high, but I had underestimated the malice of human hearts. The night before the exam, Devin contacted me, gleefully saying, "Penny, you probably don't know, but your mom back in the village hasn't been to dialysis in over 10 days. Impossible. I had video called her just yesterday, and she was fine." I hung up and immediately tried calling my mom, but no one answered. Then I called her doctor, who was evasive and told me to focus on my exams. At that moment, how can I possibly focus on my exams? I was beside myself with worry. But it was Gerben who noticed something was off, after he asked me about it. He calmed me down and explained the situation to his mom. Gerben's mom quickly got in touch with someone she knew in our county to check on my mom. She held my hand tightly and said, "Penny, your mom has always dreamed of you getting into a top university. You must stay calm at this time." Gerben also said, "It's just a matter of money, and we're not short on that." He knew I didn't want to owe anything. My mom will cover it for now. "Once you get into Tsinghua or Peking University and win the scholarship, you can pay us back." It turned out my mom hadn't gone for her dialysis for half a month. She had been lying to me, claiming she had the money. Gerben's mom paid the expenses up front. Only after seeing the video of my mom in the hospital could I finally relax. Devin and I were at the same examination center. We met at the entrance, and he flashed a cold smile at me. If it weren't for Gerben and his mom, I might have been completely unsettled by him. As I opened the exam paper, I told myself, "Penny, 12 years of hard work come down to this moment. Bring out all your strength. Let nothing hold you back." After the 2 days of exams, Gerben's mom drove me straight to the county. How kind she is. How well she understands me. My mom had lost a lot of weight. When she saw me, tears streamed down her face. I hugged her tightly. "I've missed you so much, Mom. I couldn't wait for the exam results. I had to see you." Your teacher Bob told me all about how well you're doing in school," she said as she touched my face. "You did your best. Whether you get in or not, it's up to fate now." The night before the results, I got calls from the admissions teams at Tsinghua and Peking University. I didn't know which to choose, so I asked Gerben for his opinion. He nonchalantly said, "It's up to you. I'll go wherever you go." It took me a few seconds to respond. "What do you mean by that?" He casually mentioned, I got calls too. I studied hard just to be with you in Beijing. So wherever you go, I go. You. I was so overwhelmed I couldn't speak. He held my face, his minty breath on my skin. "Penny, on such a happy day, how about we kiss? If you don't say anything, I'll take that as a yes." Girls are always so reserved. I hadn't agreed, but before I could speak, he kissed me passionately. After a long kiss, he finally let go but still rested his forehead against mine. "Penny, you're so sweet. I just had some ice cream. I like this flavor. From now on, have one before we kiss." The next day, the results were announced. I scored 716, the top science student. Gerben scored 714, ranking third in the province. We both ended up choosing Tsinghua. It had been a long time since our school had seen such results. The school took our photos and displayed them on the bulletin board. With various awards combined, I received over $1 million. Gerben got a little less, but still about $500,000. He handed his card to me. "From now on, you're in charge of the finances in our family. The money is yours to manage." After the admission results were announced, I went back to the Duncans to pack my belongings. Their door was adorned with large, "Congratulations" characters. And they even set off firecrackers when I arrived. The neighbors gathered around. "This must be your daughter who got into Tsinghua University. She's not only smart but also beautiful." Fanny was all smiles. "She takes after me." I looked at them with a half smile. "Uncles and aunties, it's not right to claim someone else's child. You made it very clear before that I was the daughter of your distant cousin." The two were embarrassed by my comment and looked displeased. Leo said sternly, "We are your biological parents. And that's an undeniable fact, yes. And the fact that you abandoned me initially and later refused to acknowledge me is also undeniable." I took out $6,562 from my bag. "I've kept track of every penny you spent on me, and now I'm paying you back. Out of this, $2,000 is for the rent." I packed my things, and Devin stood at the door, looking gloomy. I smiled at him. "I've said before, I don't care for anything in this house. Take good care of your wealth." He clenched his teeth. "Don't get too smug." I smiled faintly. "I heard you're planning to retake the exams. I wish you good luck with your scores. I'll be waiting for you at Tsinghua." After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.